I can hear you just fine. You let me know when you're ready to begin.
It's ready.
Okay. Hi, Sarah Freels. It's nice to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while on Facebook. Been
Yeah.
sharing some of your stuff. I'm sure you've been watching the elections and everything. So what is going on with meme news lately? You want to talk about your interview that you recently had?
Yeah. I was on Zoom Politicon with Holly. You know Holly, I'm sure a lot of people do. She's got like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. She's accurate and she's just down to earth and she's genuine. And I was really, really honored when for her to have me on her show. We talked about meme news and how how we want to help, lift up the voices of the revolution, lift up voices of dissent, lift up anti-government voices because they're being massively censored right now on a major scale, privately and publicly. For example, like our Facebook, my personal Facebook has been deleted so many times that Facebook has permanently banned 3 of my devices. So I couldn't actually have an account on Facebook for a while. I had to get another laptop just to use Facebook. But I did that because, I want to connect with people. So, there's people that are saying that we need to leave Facebook. And I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think they want us to leave. I mean, we're already in our own echo chamber because of how their social medias are designed. So, I mean, we got to keep speaking out. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, to tell people the truth.
No, it's not. And if you can wake up one person, just one person, it's worth it. It's worth all the stress and hardship and stuff. So, I look forward to a day where everybody awakens en masse and realizes that this is just a chess game. You're just pawns. If you stand up from the table, you're not playing the game anymore. Then they have to prove where they're getting the money, where they're getting the voters, if there are none. Why don't people realize this?
I mean, we do actually. And, the whole aspect of the DNC Fraud Protest is to unite people without parties and unite them around direct action, unite them around facts, unite them around educating people, and being kind to other people, giving people information and doing it in a way where they'll listen to you. And it's not easy. We've been doing DNC Fraud Protest for about a year and a half now, and we're just starting to get people to notice us. But the thing is, you got to build the credibility because we want to show people that what's the difference between a genuine grassroots movement and some bullshit women's march hosted by the Democratic Party. Now, not all women marches are hosted by the Democratic Party, but for the most part, I'd say all women's marches except for the anti-war Pentagon March that was hosted by women but not associated with just the Democratic Party. So I do support them, obviously, but it's just all about connecting people and showing them what real opposition looks like because they haven't seen it before.
Right. That's
why
true.
people are still on the hopey changey train because it's all they know.
Yep.
We're basically after this election. I didn't watch the election. I pretty much shared videos from our protests and stuff the whole day. I didn't vote, and I'm not afraid to say it. I think that's more revolutionary than voting.
Yep, I agree.
And we're going to have a lot of people that are not going to like that message. Like me and Deb Della Piano, we're working on Obstruct the Vote 2020. So we have 2 years to get people united outside the system and overthrow this government. And that's a very intimidating thing to say, but at the same time, I think most people know that it needs to be done.
Well, it's a right guaranteed by the Constitution.
Yeah.
If I forget what part it is or whatever. But, that's something that people may want to research. It does talk about if your government becomes tyrannical, which,
It has. Absolutely.
Yeah, it has. Let's not sugarcoat it. It really has, especially the DNC.
I don't
And then people
get,
complain and say, why don't you talk about the RNC? Well, do you want to tell them why?
Okay, I do not support the GOP. I think they're just as scummy as the DNC. However, to break up the duopoly, we have to break those two parties up. We have to hold each party accountable for their own actions. So when, some Democrat comes up and says, well, why aren't you protesting the GOP? And I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to hold your party accountable, something that you're not doing. So until you start doing that, you have no leg to stand on, and I'm like, how is stopping people, how is opposing the DNC fraud protest going to help you? And normally they can't answer that. They're just like, I'm like, how is opposing the people that are holding your party accountable going to stop the GOP? And they're like, it's not,
Right.
And that's a bullshit argument that the leadership of the DNC has filtered down to them. But I say, there is no larger group in this United States that we could unite together for any other reason than holding the DNC accountable. There's more people that hate the Democratic Party for their own actions than any other group in this country. I personally believe that, and I feel like the DNC Fraud Protest is a good way to find out.
Well, and remember, I don't understand why people have already forgotten, and I can find it on my phone. I'll go ahead and read some of the things that the DNC has actually said to refresh people's memories in case they have suffered from cognitive dissonance, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay. So anyways, DNC attorney Bruce Spiva, is that his name? He said, Spiva, okay. He said there is no such thing as a Democrat. The DNC just encourages people to vote for the Democratic Party. He also said no one has any right to an expectation of a fair election. If the DNC wishes to select a candidate in the primaries instead of a free election process, that is their right. Donating money to Bernie Sanders.
This relates to what you just said. This is a part of what I do with the DNC fraud. I make, I'll make memes, publish them online, promote them on all different social medias, and then I'll even include the link so they can go look it up, or the hashtag so they can look it up, our logo, and a quote. And this is the Impartiality Clause, also known as Article 5, Section 4 of the DNC Charter. It reads, the chairperson shall exercise impartiality and even-handedness as between the presidential candidates and campaigns. The chairperson shall be responsible for ensuring that the national officers and staff of the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, may maintain impartiality and even-handedness during the Democratic Party presidential nominating process. And then I posted the link, and it was to Katie Johnstone. So, it's a name that people will recognize, and then on top of that, they'll look her up and look her work up. So it kind of, helps everybody.
Yeah.
But it's things like this, simply standing on a curb and handing people this content is what we all need to be doing, and we all could be doing it. So, what I'm focusing on.
I'm sending you this, by the way, because this is really good, like how they got it wrote out. I'm going to send this to you right now.
Yeah.
So, anyways, you've got a protest coming up soon.
Yes.
Why don't you tell the viewers about it?
It is going to be in Seattle. You can go to the dncfraudprotest.com website, and it'll take you to our event page. I can't even view our event page right now because I don't have a laptop that'll access Facebook, but you guys can, the people watching can. And since I won't be able to live stream at the event because my phone won't connect to Facebook. Not sure exactly what we'll do. Maybe use Twitter. regardless, we're going to document it. I'm bringing in my own camera with my SD chip, so we'll document it however we can. Usually when, like the last time I protested, Nina, the live streams wouldn't work on my phone, which that's common. But I also, my phone just randomly wouldn't let me record anything. Pictures, video, nothing. My phone wasn't working. And that happens more often than you think. You know, when you need it, it's critical. So I'm going to make sure to bring my physical camera so, you know, they can't disrupt that.
Right.
And then I'll publish that later, like once I get back to the hotel or whatever.
Right.
But what we're going to do is I'm going from Pullman, Washington to Seattle. So from the right side of Washington State to the left. And, you know, we get this out. And then, you know, every gas station we stop at, every town, what we're going to do is put this flyer on.
I'm taking these headphones out.
Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
So
Sorry, just I got sick.
In every gas station, I'm going to stop and take this to a pole or a street sign, and basically just get this information out there that the DNC Fraud Protest is a full-time movement to shut the Democratic Party down. You know, and some people are going to laugh it off. Some people are going to be confused. Most people are probably going to be confused. But I feel like the information's already there. You know, it's about giving people enough time to wake up, because you can't just, you can give them the information and they may throw it away. You know, but the fact of the matter is that someone showing the world that we're willing to try, you know, because I feel like these people are not a lost cause. Like a lot of people want to dismiss them, you know, and let them go do whatever. And
right.
I just feel like we need to do better than the what the DNC is providing to their base. They're manipulating them. They're using them. You know, they're making them borderline psychotic in a lot of circumstances, and violent, filled with hate and rage. And so we're trying to battle that with love, you know, and information, love and facts.
Yep. Yeah, if they only knew half of the things that people that are involved in the DNC are involved in, they probably wouldn't be so hip to check that box off, would they? But that's another.
I talked to a lot of people, and say on Twitter yesterday. I shared something about Nina Turner that this person didn't know, and they're like, "Oh my God, really?" They're like, "I thought she was legitimate," and I was like, "No, go look at this link." And then they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know," you know, like they just didn't know. They're good people. They just didn't know, you know. They're not all bad.
They're not all denial, you know.
Yeah. I mean, we just have to.
I think a lot of them are just scared of radical change.
Yeah. They've just been manipulated for so long, they don't know how to handle it when someone's honest with them, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I just basically focus on finding a ways to get the information to the people, whether it's through a meme, through meme news, through, you know, promoting other independent media that I feel are genuine, based on their own work, like Holly or you know, or Dave Denton or Deb Delapiana, like Alex Spielman.
You know, she made my day the other day. She shared that article about Barbra Streisand. Did you see that?
If it was on Facebook, no.
Barbra Streisand was threatening to move to Canada again if the Democrats, you know, didn't do something or whatever.
Then go.
And Deb said something about, well, go ahead and take all the elitist Hollywood with you. Or an island called Pakistan or something like that. It was just so funny. It was so funny. She's so funny. Yeah, I want to have a show with her.
She's the perfect example of how you just speak the truth and people will love you for it.
Yep.
Just speak the truth. That's, you know, people are so tired of bullshit. They're so tired of you know, media having an agenda. Like, I've been telling people, please be careful about the media that are telling you that you can't or shouldn't revolt. Because if you're a genuine, in my opinion, if you're a genuine journalist or any type of media that's truly independent, you're going to, and you know what the fuck is up, you know how bad this government is, you're not going to tell people they need to reform it, you know. Because we have other options, you know. So
it's part of ethics in journalism. It's basic ethics in journalism. George Orwell said that, you know, anything that you know, anything that they don't want published is news, and anything that they do or everything else is just public relations. Remember that quote? That might not be how it exactly is, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And another thing that's been really great for the movement is when we unite people, like every DNC fraud protest, people see that. Like, not only the people that are there, but the people that watch the videos afterwards, they see, you know, how much love there is and how much unity there is and how comfortable people actually feel, like being able to say what they want to corrupt officials like the Democratic Party. Like being able to stand outside their headquarters, you know, with 20, 30 people, like that's usually the max that's been at a protest at one time. And, you know, but I think that also shows people how legitimate it is, because protests and movements that go too fast, too quickly, and, you know, fundraise too quickly, like people see that and they're like, okay, that doesn't look very legitimate to me, you know?
Yes, exactly. Exactly, like the 70 million that Beto raised, you know, and he still got his ass handed to him by Cruz, which Cruz sucks too. They both suck, and there was never an actual choice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going to be honest, you know. And I guess the more Democrats that were former CIA officials have been voted in this election more than any time in history, and that's very, very concerning.
Yeah.
Very concerning. That means we are headed towards.
I mean, I feel like we just need to stop legitimizing these elections, and and it starts with holding the candidates accountable that are legitimizing it. So, say like Tim Canova. Some people are curious of why I don't support Tim Canova, and there's a few things. One, because I don't think he's truly genuine. I think anybody that says that we should spend our money on one specific candidate, it's probably going to lose because elections are rigged. So he wants us to waste our money on rigged elections rather than actually opposing the rigged elections. So, you know, it was probably a year ago, I made a post about him saying how I didn't think he was genuine or what he was doing was right. It triggered him because he messaged me and he started going off saying like, why am I saying this stuff? And I'm like, so I just told him, I just finished what I thought I wanted to tell him. I don't remember what it was at the time, but, and Facebook's deleted my account since then, so I can't like reference it. But he pretty much told me that I offered to send him a DNC Fraud Protest shirt, like free, just give him one, you know, on me. And he told me straightforward, I wouldn't wear that out of the house. So
you think Canova's controlled opposition?
Oh, yeah.
Because he did express support for Assange here recently.
But there's a lot of people that say one thing, but, you know, I just feel like if you actually want to end DNC corruption, then you wouldn't be running against them. You know, you wouldn't be legitimizing their.
Right. That's true. Know? Yeah, and people need to take note of that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
like if he actually knew how bad the Democratic Party was, he wouldn't be legitimizing it. He'd say that they don't deserve to run; they need to be shut down.
Well, he saw because little Miss Jar Jar beat him again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He could do it 20 times in a row. And suck us dry of all of our money. He's not going to beat that corruption.
Right, that's true. Yes, and maybe
I feel like
he himself acknowledges that now. Maybe
he's not. Him and Tim Black. They're never gonna, they're never ever gonna tell people to revolt against the system ever. mark my words, they're never, ever going to tell people to let go and let it die.
Yeah, it needs to die. It's
ancient. It doesn't work for us.
It's ancient.
It is.
It needs a collapse, just like the Roman Empire.
It's not even that it's ancient. It's that we're being governed by criminals.
Right.
There is no ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
And
the only way you can let people know is what we're doing, what other people are doing. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, that I respect that are doing.
So we're setting our website's fairly new. I mean, we've only had about 1.5 years since we started, and we only had probably about a half a year since our website's been up. And I'm not a web designer, so, and the only person working on it is really me. So it's still, in construction, but we're as we create the media, we're trying to put online versions of it on there so people can print it out and do the same thing that we're doing, or do their own version, use that information and speak out however you want to. I make sure that people know there is no wrong way to speak out as long as you're peaceful and you have your facts straight,
Right.
No wrong. Other than that, people should be revolting every single day. I mean,
yeah.
It's actually kind of, right now as we talk, I'm trying to cut out memes for the Seattle. One trick that's good is attaching candy to it. Candy and facts.
Yep. Facts and candy. They go great together. Everybody likes free candy, huh?
It was good at Halloween. I stood up down at the corner and was handing out this actually. Handing out Sean Lucas, and it had candy on the back, and I was like, Happy Halloween! Happy Halloween!
Good idea.
Whatever it takes, because it's like I've been to a few women's marches in opposition, and so I'll be handing out information, and more often than not, they'll throw it away. They'll say, it's worthless, or they'll make fun of me, or they'll, just throw it down, and they don't care. So I have to be creative, and get this information to them.
Well, they shouldn't make fun of things that are true. I mean, facts. I mean, the DNC attorney basically admitted that they're corrupt.
They already admitted in court that they don't have to have any accountability at all.
And I'm just amazed, totally amazed how people can just forget that. I mean, when I was a Bernie delegate, that was the most important. That was something that drove me. I mean, I was thinking of my future, my kids' future, my grandkids' future, my great-grandkids. I was thinking that, we finally got an FDR. I mean, I was totally blind, I thought for once in my lifetime that I could trust that the government was legit and we were going to finally get a really cool New Deal president.
I thought that too.
So imagine how I felt too,
I mean, my first political meme page was called Burners. I campaigned for him. I quoted him. The issue is, though, I didn't research him well enough. I had only been in politics less than a year when I got interested in Bernie's campaign. So I just didn't know the facts yet, but that takes time. I mean, still today, it's been 3 years now, still today I'm finding something out new every day about them because I'm taking the time to research it. I mean, that's why we have to just understand that when you give people information that they've never seen before, they're immediately going to reject it. They're immediately going to think that you're the enemy because you're handing me something that I didn't know because it's embarrassing or, it's breaking their reality. So it's not going to be easy, but it's definitely necessary. And, especially when I refer to obstruct the vote, people are going to be very upset by that before they understand what it is that we're actually trying to accomplish. But a lot of people within the Democratic Party, they know the party's corrupt. They're just invested in reforming it. And they don't want to, they're on a current path right now and they don't like turning around because there's nowhere to really turn around. It's like a road with no pull off.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so we have to say, stop, get out of the car. We're going to walk the other direction, you know, because this car goes one way to the wrong direction. So, you know, we got to walk, we got to turn around.
And the third parties are not even a threat to these. I don't know why people insist on thinking that third parties are a threat. They're obviously not. This election really was a smack in the face for every American. I mean, if you watched it, I predicted it. I knew Cruz was going to keep his seat. I knew Nancy Pelosi was going to get another. I just knew it.
Feinstein. You know, elections are rigged if Feinstein and Debbie Wasserman Schultz is winning.
Yeah.
You know, thinking about it though, I think this will be eye-opening to people because they've tried reforming it, repetitively, and it's not working. So I think that's going to help us bring people our side. Now, I'm not saying that it's a good thing she's in Congress. You know, it's not a good thing that they've been given more power. But the thing is, we've been, you know, silent and complacent for so long that, you know, it's just going to take time and it's going to feel worse. There's going to be probably more violence in the street because the mainstream media is promoting violence. The Democratic Party is promoting violence. They're gaslighting people.
Because they know it's coming. They know it's coming.
And we know it's coming too. And so, you know, part of the DNC fraud protest and, you know, Mean News too, we're trying to educate people to prevent that. We want to prevent, you know, all-out civil war. We want to prevent people fighting each other rather than discussing. So, you know, that's one of our goals.
And, you know, a friend of mine on Facebook, she had mentioned a really good idea, and I don't know why we haven't tried this in America. In some of the Norse countries, they will stand outside and bang on pots and pans. I mean, how can they ignore that if thousands of people are doing it? That's what she said. I mean, she makes a great point. I wish, you know, that was a consideration here in the United States.
Well, you know, I mean, in a way, that's kind of what we're doing. But instead of banging pans, we're handing people information because I think that should be our prime goal is giving them the facts. Whether they believe it, whether they accept it, they have it, you know. Banging pans would be good if you know, bang a pan and then hand something out.
Right. And it does happen. I've seen the protest in the other countries, and it's really fascinating because the politicians can't come out because they can't hear.
Yeah.
But they've got thousands of people at one time banging pots and pans. I mean, it's genius. We need to do that here in America.
I think one reason why Bernie became so popular is because he said he was going to battle Clinton. And I definitely know that's why Trump got the votes that he needed, because he said he's going to battle Clinton. But in reality, I don't see that actually happening for either Bernie nor Trump. So what I'm doing is finding an opposition that seems legitimate to me and you know, carrying that out. Because
so you don't think our president, Donald Trump, is going to do anything to Hillary Clinton like everybody wants to happen?
Yeah. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it, you know, but the facts to me don't show that.
If you're wrong, girl, we're having a party.
If we're wrong, yeah. I mean, I'm happy for that. Like, I feel like there's a difference between being against Trump and not supporting Trump just for the fuck of it, you know? Like, I don't want him to fail, because if he really carries out what he says he's going to do, then they'll be held accountable. But I don't think that's what's happening. And I've noticed that, you know, the whole Q thing and trusting the plan, and I personally don't recommend anybody trusting a plan that they weren't a part of creating, you know. But, you know, I feel like
I'm impartial on Q. I'm a hopeful.
Let me say this. I don't think Q is actually hurting the movement. I'll say that. I think if anything, it may be distracting people a little bit, but at the same time, the Q community are built around researchers. So even if they're not right about this, they still could be researching things that would help. So, you know, it's like, not only that, but the Q community en masse would support DNC Fraud Protest. I feel that. I see that.
Yes. Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
But that's what they want. They want us to be confused about things and not understand them and be scared of them, and so we just have to think for ourselves.
Right. That's what it's all about, and critical thinking is so important in the United States today. I mean, we've got more complex issues than we ever have in any time in history. And so critical thinking skills are very necessary today.
We have to understand the fact that no matter what you report about, if you're an independent journalist, no matter what you report about, there's always going to be somebody that says you're wrong, you're lying. This is not
Russia.
Right? Yeah, they're gonna, no matter what you report. So that's the aspect of meme news that I really want to let people know about. We want to help you. So if you're an independent journalist, and I'm serious. I mean that from all people, even if you're just starting to share on Facebook and you're not really comfortable on camera yet, or you're making memes. Meme news wants to help those people because, they don't have a platform. So meme news is starting to get recognition. We have a website now. People are starting to know who we are and what we're about. So we want them to come to us, and help us share their message.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we started doing with Holly and Deb, and it works pretty well. Like, I've been getting a lot of good feedback from it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, why don't you did you talk about the interview that you've done yet? We need to talk about that. The interview that everybody needs to watch. Yes. Where they can go to watch that.
The link, and we can put it in the caption below. Basically, we just discussed about what meme news is. It's a revolutionary news coalition, and we don't control the narrative. We just let the narrative go wherever our independent journalists want it to go. As long as the information's factual, and that's all we care about. So, whether you're right or left or anti-gov, whatever your personal political issues are, we just want to lift up people that are what I call the voices of dissent.
Right. Exactly. And
anything that battles the mainstream media narrative is helpful to the movement. That's what meme news aims to do. And there will be sometimes there's conflicting opinions on meme news. Like, sometimes we'll share Jordan Sather, or we'll share Justin Nemos, and then we'll share Deb Della Piana. These people, we don't tell these people what to report. We don't tell them what to think or what to say or what to even research. Like, they create the content, and we make graphics for it and promote it. That's all.
Right.
We also have a weekly newsletter too. I'll put the link in the caption below when we upload this.
Okay. Awesome.
And we don't require any information. You can even put a fake name when you subscribe to the newsletter. We don't want to know anything about you. We just want to give people information, which is actually pretty rare.
Information. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. Accurate information anyways. Yes. Correct information. So any last words for the audience? Sorry, I'm messing with my hair. It's crazy.
Normally I'm messing with my hair a lot too, but
it's getting on my nerves.
Your hair's pretty, by the way. I like that red.
Thanks, but I'm sick of it. I'm gonna put it up.
I got my hair cut, so I can't put my hair in a ponytail anymore. Okay, so Semina, we have a protest in Seattle on the 12th and the 13th. The 13th, we're going to try and confront Nina Turner, but full disclosure, I think she's probably going to try and maybe go in the back door or have her goons around her, so I don't actually know if we're going to be able to speak with her. We're going to try.
Yeah, you think she'll be prepared this time then, huh?
I mean, I've been promoting this for a while, and I've actually been tweeting her.
Okay.
Somewhat about it. Really not saying what we're doing or anything, but, posting questions on Twitter and then saying, maybe Nina Turner will answer these questions this in round 2. Because I asked her the first time, or I tried to, and I was removed from the building because she didn't want to be on camera. So we're going to try it again. And basically what we're doing is showing people how little real opposition these people have. Because you can't just go up to Nina and ask her a question. Like, you know, ask her about DNC fraud or ask her opinion. These people, the only time they really allow themselves to be on camera is if it's from a paid, you know, photographer, filmographer from the DNC that's going to put them in a good light and you know, edit it how they want. So, you know, what we're doing is the opposite of that. Asking questions that real people like me, you know, and I think that if I do get her on camera, I think it'll really resonate with the people watching because they'll see, oh, that's a genuine question. Like, she thought of these questions for a long time. Like, this is something I needed to know. And the press is not going to do it. Her followers are not going to do it. So, it's up to us.
Right. That's true. Yep. So, are you excited about this?
I am. I'm a little nervous. I used to have severe anxiety, and now it's only like, you know, normal anxiety. I used to I used to be terrible. I couldn't even get on camera, and I had to get over that because we've just, you know, we've been silent for so long that we don't have that luxury anymore of not caring. You know? Right.
Exactly.
I'm sick. I'm fucking sick. I'm sorry, but I'm fucking sick of people not caring about DNC crimes. I'm sick of that, and I want to show people how to speak out because I don't know how long, you know, I can do this by myself. You know what I mean? So we'll see. It should be fun though. I mean, every time I do an event, it's usually the best time of my life. Like uniting with people that come and join me, it's the best feeling, and wouldn't do anything else if I could.
So what do you hope to accomplish this time? When you return, what do you hope to accomplish after you've done this?
Well, a big aspect, especially after the protest, or any event that I do that shows opposition to the DNC, is using that media that I created, showing peaceful opposition to the DNC and promoting it, showing it to other people, you know. So even if, say, I'm the only one that shows up to the protest, or if it's a solo mission, then that's still helpful. You know, we can put it on our website, we can tweet it, you know. It's creating media showing real opposition. That's vital. So if somebody wants to go out and do their own DNC protest, then get it on camera, the whole thing.
Right.
Even if you're just going up to a Democrat at their headquarters in your town, they go in there, document it, ask them one question. Just go in there. You don't have to have a lot. Ask them one question about something you feel is important to get their opinion on, and then they can even send it to us on our website through our email, and we'll publish it for them and show the world, you know, how people are speaking out. Because we want to unite people without parties, and this is how we do it.
That's very important, you know, that you just said that. Can you please repeat that one more time?
We need unity without political parties. And that's one of our goals. It's not only addressing the crimes of the Democratic Party and educating people and preventing a civil war that the mainstream media and the DNC and the GOP are provoking, and holding them accountable for their own actions, but also to unite people. Ultimately, that's our goal, is showing people that we don't have to vote to have a voice. We don't have to vote to have unity. Political parties are divisive in their goals. They are divisive because there's always going to be people that won't join the Republicans, won't join the Democrats, won't join the Greens, won't join the Libertarians. No one is going to unite within one single party. Nobody.
Right.
You know.
Exactly. Well, my husband
you can get partial unity, but if that's what you want, then go for it.
Right. Well, my husband's home, so I think I'm going to make some dinner.
I appreciate this interview, though.
You want to say hi to Sarah?
I just got it.
Like my
This is my husband.
Hey.
Hi.
She's awesome.
So, Yeah, I told her you were going to be a singer for a metal band,
I might
possibly. Yeah,
That's
potentially.
cool. Oh, the puppy!
So,
Come here. Come. You gotta
she
see
just
my
had
Bubba. Here, come.
to cut all this out.
My papa.
Oh, cutie! Oh, it's even got a little onesie. How cute! How do you get your dog to wear clothes
He
like
loves it.
that?
He loves
That's so cute.
have.
Oh,
She's my baby.
I can tell.
She had a rough day today.
Yeah, I know.
Watch this. Want to get in the pool? Want to play with the ball? She's tired. I drugged her.
Oh, yeah. For
Gave
her
some,
surgery.
whatever the anxiety medicine is called.
Okay, so you're going to be here on the 12th, or we're going to cut this out, right?
We're gonna what?
Cut this part out.
Hold
You're
on.
going to cut this.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for